We know that, right?
Yeah. Go ahead and start seeing. Testing, stage right. Testing, you ready here? Testing, testing, stage left. Test. Oh,
Afternoon. Is everybody ready to get started?
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say thank you and appreciative to everybody being here today and taking the time. I realize the rain also makes travel a little difficult for some of you, so we appreciate your getting here and joining us today. With that, we're going to move right into court. It looks like we have a forum, and I want to make sure we can get going. And my name is Chris Evans. I'm the new executive director of the Opioid Abatement Advisory Commission. And again, I want to thank everybody for coming, participating, as well as the commission members, as well as those in the public who are with us today. And we appreciate all of your attendance. With that, I'd like to go ahead and go through the roll call. I'm not sure if we have everybody on the line. Okay, that's but just like Representative Bentley.
He's in session.
Thank you. Let's start. And if you can just acknowledge you're here. Ms. Butcher?
Here.
Mr. Cameron? Here. Dr. Freeman?
Here.
Thank you. Secretary Freelander? Here. Thank you, sir. Mr. Ingram? Here. Further Secretary Metcalf? Here. Thank you, sir. Ms. Purdy?
Here.
Dr. Root? Here. All right. Thank you. And in addition to the commission members, also staff, Allison Shakins, who's with us, and as well as Jesse Halliday, who's transitioning, who's going to be the deputy, so everybody's aware of who's at the table and who's with us today. The next order on the list is to make sure that everyone received a copy of the agenda for this meeting, and we want to affirm that that is the case. Thank you very much. That has been prepared, has been provided to all members and to those in the room as well. So we will get started with the meeting itself. The first order of business is the business meeting schedule. And as you will note in your agenda, those items have already been voted on by the commission members or set and scheduled. And we'll move forward. For those who may not have or have it ready, those schedule runs from February through June. And all meetings will take place here at 1024 Capitol Center Drive, Suite 200 in Frankfurt. And so for any of the public or any of those items will be published and will be made available.
Right.
So we do, one of the things, again, going through that needs to take place and want to make sure is that before moving into the other aspects of the agenda, that we can get that moved and approved by the committee, by somebody to make motion for that. And a second? Thank you. Thank you, show on the present that agenda has been approved and they will move forward. Our business meeting schedules, you've got on your agenda the executive director updates. And so this will be brief. I've mentioned to some of you in the discussion brief here before that we want to make sure that this is the business meeting. But the first order of business, I want to thank all the returning members for your service and the work that you have done and the things that you've put forward. It's a testament and it's great to know the Commonwealth what you've work you've done. I also want to welcome Secretary Metcalf as another new member. Welcome to this body. Thank you for joining also. Another thank you goes out to Commissioner Vic Brown, who has served on this commission, as many of you know, and you should have a copy. I spoke to Commissioner Brown, and he had a number of scheduling conflicts and things that were pending, and had communicated this to my predecessor that he was going to be transitioning off of the commission. So he has provided a copy of that resume to the commission, so you all have a copy of that. He asked that I point out some things to that. And some he would really want to make sure everybody was clear that he was proud of work with the commission, grateful for the opportunity to serve, supported the commission's effort to try new approaches like Abatement, and was appreciative of all the committee members. And then following up with big comments and the appreciation that does for me, I want to make sure that I express my appreciation to all of you for the ability to work with you and join this journey. I've spent 29 years of my life in this effort and in keeping the public safe. And so I look forward to being able to continue to serve in that effort. I think there's a special thing that comes from trying to serve the public, and the people of the Commonwealth deserve the best treatment that they can give and the best that we can give. I know you have all been doing that, and I want to thank you for that as you move forward. I also know that there is a number of things that are out there in the process that's going forward. And as you have funded things, I've really kind of looked at some of them, and to me, they're almost like lanterns of light kind of in the darkness that's out there. You've provided people with hope an opportunity to improve lives. And I want to look forward that we continue to do that. And we do that across all parts of the Commonwealth and for every population in the Commonwealth. And that's my commitment, that I want to make sure that we move forward and do that as we go forward. I know there are various discussions and policies that we want to get into. There's talk about funding for specific programs that people would like to get into. And where the people are curious and want to know about issues such as the Ibogaine or the Attorney General's comments about wanting to have a strong lead prevention program. And we will get to fulsome discussions of those, but for this meeting today, it's the business meeting. And I remind all of you and all those present that this is 1 week into this process. Last Tuesday, about an hour from now is when I got sworn in. So in fairness to everybody and to make sure we're clear, I want to make sure we have the opportunity to be educated about all the issues, to have a full understanding of the working of the commission, how it operates, what's necessary to and make sure we can ensure the best process for people. So that in mind, today's meeting will be a very business-like meeting to go through those things. We're going to limit to those needs that need to have the things that need to happen to make sure we can continue to push funds and continue to cite and help those who are out doing the real work and help the real work. So I just wanted to add that in a little bit and make sure that we go through. There will be a time and we will engage in those more substantive conversations, but just today is not the day for that. With that, I also want to make sure that the other new member, Secretary Metcalf, has any comments to the commission.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I come to this commission, having been a state and federal prosecutor, having organized an anti-drug coalition in my home county of Garrett County, having worked with students, teachers, school officials, and having worked intensely with our rehab centers across the state. And I can't think of a better way to spend my time and the time of my agency than participating in the effort of this commission, and I look forward to its work.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. The next item on the agenda is the minutes, but before we do that, is any other comments that any other commissioners want to make before we move into the minutes? So we'll do so now. If not, we'll go directly into the review of the last minutes.
Is this our only time that we will get to make comments?
It is, because we're going to go through the next of the minutes. There will be opportunities for the public to make comments, but I wanted to make sure there's an opportunity for all the members to make comments.
I would just say, this is a very high attendance for our meetings. I'm curious to see who the room is made up of, but I guess we'll get to that in public comments.
That we will. With that, we'll move forward, and I wanted to first ask all members had an opportunity to review the meeting minutes from the last meeting on December 13th. If so, if there's any comments, actually, if I can get a motion to discuss that. So moved. Second.
Second.
Any additional discussions necessary about those meeting notes, or any comments that anybody has in regards to that? Then I will see there was a movement to amend it to move those into the record, and if so, there would be no disagreements with that. I would ask if all are in favor. If so, say aye. Aye. Thank you. So moved. Thank you. Make sure we've got all of those recorded. And we'll so go through the next items that's on the agenda is the subcommittee breakouts. We have both the treatment and recovery breakout in conference room C, as well as the prevention, reform, and compliance in conference room D. At this time, we can move into those subcommittee meetings, and again, we will need a motion to dismiss into the subcommittee meetings. If I can get a motion from somebody.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll move into the breakup of the subcommittee meetings.
And I think the public needs to know that they are welcome to attend those.
They are, the entire meeting is an open forum. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time and coming back and to joining us. We've got a few more agenda items to get through. The first that will need to happen is that I'll need a motion to return to the regularly scheduled business meeting. So if I can get a motion for that.
So moved.
Second. Thank you very much. With that, we will move directly into the new business. And the first portion of that new business is from the consideration of the treatment and recovery application review meetings. So if we can get comments from that meeting.
Yeah, Dr. Oaks, thank you. Our group had previously voted to meet on January 30th at 10 a.m. here at 1024 Capitol Drive. To start our rate review process. In this meeting, we've added 3 dates. February the 9th from 1 to 3 p.m. also here. February the 23rd from 10 to noon, also in the building. And March 20th from 10 to noon, also here in 24 Capitol Avenue.
Thank you. Any other business from no? Okay. And I've been told that we still need to get the entire commission's check and see if all are in favor to approve those. If so, say aye.
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 Thank you. So next we'll move to the consideration of the prevention reform application review meeting.
Okay, we have our first meeting coming up January 29th at 10 a.m. here at 1024 Capitol Center Drive as well. We have added on 2 more meetings. The February meeting will be February 26th at 10 a.m. here as well. And the March meeting will be March 11th, 10 a.m. as well. There's also the 5th of February. Did you write that one down? February 5th and February 5th and 26th and March 11th and 27th. Okay. Okay. So we're 5th and 25th.
Second.
All at 10 a.m., correct?
Did I just hear a second for that? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes that portion. So we will now move into the public comments and remarks. Read a brief statement, but if there's anyone here who wishes to speak, please make sure you refrain from discussion of application, its contents, or any specific moderator request. If you'd like to discuss any general concepts regarding why you're here, we're happy to hear that general information. The other thing that we had posted was if the attendance or the request exceeded more than 5, we're going to ask that it be down to 3 minutes. So we ask the individuals in the public to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, just so that we can make sure that everybody has an opportunity. So with that, we'll move forward with the list that's scheduled and signed. The first individual who has signed up is Nancy Blackburn. So if you please move your list.
I just want to make sure, are you saying this is for application or just for?
No, this is public comments. Public comments. So yes.
Nancy, come on.
Yes, at the front, we have to make sure that everybody, anyone who comes up, we need to make sure that you'll join podium, and so that you can be part of the record and everybody can see. And then we will at 3 minutes, if you've gone, we'll definitely let you know that we took that time.
Okay.
Thank you.
To the Abatement, Opioid Abatement Commission. My name is Nancy Blackburn, and thank you for letting me have this time to get up here to appeal to you. I stand here before you as a mother who has experienced unimaginable pain of losing a son. He was on a child addiction, fentanyl, the pill healed him. And it's a long and age that I know that everyone knows that no parent should have to bear. And my mission now is to prevent others from having to go through that same process. So my son battled addiction was marked with a relentless grip of withdrawal that haunted him. The fear of facing, to get help, the being paralyzed, to having to go through the hopelessness of relapse and to losing the dignity and all of the things that come with withdrawal. And so getting the help that he needed, he didn't get it because of that fear of withdrawal. So my appeal to you is Abatement, please invest money into Abatement to prevent these barriers. Abatement has been shown and has been proven to lessen the withdrawal. And I think that is the first step that keeps a lot of people away of having to go through that withdrawal. And why keep doing the same thing over and getting the same result? Yes, there are some success, but mostly there are relapse and you keep doing the same thing over. Try something new, Abatement, to see. Let Kentucky be the first state to push the FDA to give a pilot program just to try this Abatement medicine. It has been proven. I don't know if you've seen all the seminars and results on this Abatement. If you haven't, do it. It has been proven. And I think we have some people here that can attest to that it's proven one treatment can stop being an addict. So my appeal to you is to give it a chance. I wrote a lot of stuff out here to make sense, but just as we have people with cancer and we invest in the medicine for that, I think also to invest in new medicine in addiction. And I understand that the opiate settlement money is for that opportunity. We have to remember that this opiate settlement money is blood money. It's money on people that have lost their child. And we need to use this so that we can stop this from happening. And I want to be quick, but in the memory of my son and countless of others who have lost to addiction, their lives matters. Please let us just unite in a better, lesser approach to treatment. Let us stop doing the same, giving money. We've got treatment centers and treatment centers. Let's set aside some of that money for a new invention. Let Kentucky be the head spirit to do this. I understand that Ohio is looking into this, but why can't Kentucky be the first to lead? If I could have took my son to Canada or Mexico without a doubt, I would have taken him there. So I'm asking you, please give time and consideration. Set aside some money to invest in this open settlement money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry for your loss, and thank you for coming to us today. Next would be Athena Bannister Short.
Hello.
Well, thank you.
My name is Athena Bannister Short. I'm here representing myself as an individual and citizen of the state of Kentucky. And my heart is beating. And I just want to acknowledge what I've observed over the last few months since getting involved in this commission and meeting some of the commissioners here. And then hearing kind of people's thoughts about this. And there's a lot of concern, there's a lot of fear around this. And I'd like to encourage us to, instead of fear, walk in with curiosity and compassion and love. And I can imagine what it feels like to step into a room as the chairman and be surrounded by all these fine folks. And everyone having kind of their own judgments around what's about to happen as we move into the next year. And so I'd like everyone to step into love as we move forward and find the community. This is a community matter, with or without the support of Abatement, as an option to help our peers, our loved ones. And I'd like to end with a quote or a concept, really, as we are on the eve of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the concept of beloved community, a community in which everyone is cared for, absent of poverty, hunger, and hate. And hopefully we can continue that through our fellow Kentuckians, reignite the spirit of Kentucky that's been dampened by the opioid epidemic.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Next up be Caitlin Tudor.
Afternoon, Commission. My name is Caitlin Tudor. I am a non-practicing BSMRN. I have a master's in law, and I'm now founder and executive director of Unexpected Blessings Adoption Foundation. Excuse me, in Georgetown. And this is the first time I've actually come to a commission meeting. However, I've been part of Karen Butcher's group in Scott County. That's where our business is. That's where I reside. That's where we raise our family. When the topic of Abatement came up, it was new to me. I hadn't heard of it. However, in my nursing background, I spent many years caring for in lots of different ways for the veteran population. My experience is that the current treatment doesn't work. The current treatment of methadone, Suboxone, just looking through Google searches, methadone has been around for the approved use of medication-assisted therapy for, I think, since the 1970s. Suboxone since the early 2000s. The way that adoption plays into this is generational. This is 70s. We're looking at almost 50 years, if not more than 50 years, of a lack of evidence that it works, a lack of proof that our current system, our current infrastructure, our current ability to treat what we are facing, it isn't working. And so our children are affected. Our children are the ones that have to deal with this. My daughter has the opportunity. I pray not to fall in that because she's worked with multiple drugs in her system. My plea is that the state gives the opportunity to give our children a better chance, a better opportunity, a new opportunity to have a life that they don't have to face many of the things that your generation, my generation, a lot of people's generation has faced. If you've never gone to a neonatal abstinence syndrome unit, I highly suggest that you do that as you proceed with what you do in this commission, in your monetary distribution. Because let me tell you, when you work with a child who's going through NES and is going through withdrawals as an infant, it's horrible. It's horrible. Please think about our kids. Please.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Henry Lucas.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, Director. It's good to see you. I like the bit that I've seen. I like the energy that you bring. And I'm here to say that I'm willing to follow your leadership. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, clinical alcohol drug counselor, and current CEO of the Kentucky Harm Reduction Coalition. I'm owner and founder of Local Health and Healing, Barstown Health and Healing. I'm a survivor of the opioid crisis. You remember last month I shared, celebrate 15 years of continuous sobriety. I've lost hundreds of people, family members. My sister died. She's the first one I ever knew that died of an overdose related to opioids. And it wasn't fentanyl, it wasn't heroin, it was methadone that she received from a prescriber. And so this isn't about the either or for me or which is better, which is not. To me, it's the both and I like to have options. We know that treatment works, and we're at a really interesting time, I think, in our civilization. Opioids is the number one cause of death. I'll be 40 in May, and it's number one cause of death for my generation. So when I get older and I'm 60, you gotta look around and my people aren't gonna be here. Right? So we're desperate, and the people are saying, let's go. Let's try something that we've never done before so we can get the results that we've never had. Right? Desmond Tutu said, the thing that we've learned from our history is that we have not learned from our history. Right? So this is critical. We're at a pivotal moment. And Kentucky can lead the way in something that is profound. And I'll say this about Abatement. You may have saw that Stanford this week published some research, some data specifically on Abatement that they used in treatment for veterans, and the remarkable results that it's done for traumatic brain injuries for the veterans is unlike anything that we've seen up to this point in medicine. So to me, it's what's at risk if we don't?
Thank you, sir. Next, Sharita Walden.
All right, good afternoon. I'm going to speak this up, okay? First, I'd like to say, yes, I'm Sharita Walden. Not only am I Sharita Walden, the Executive Director for Kentucky Harm Reduction Coalition. Sharita Walden was Sharita Stevens. I was born in a household of service workers. I come here today as Sharita Marie Joy Stevens, the community member, not just in my titles, but as a community member and mother, a servant leader for the community. My biological dad was a Marine Corps man who fought in Vietnam War, and both my mom and my stepfather are Chicago police officers. They retired, homicide detective and violent crime. So I grew up around service work, and I'm passionate. And for anyone that had a misunderstanding about that, I wanted to make it very clear, because I've heard that, unfortunately. The shirt that we are wearing today, our people are dying. So I want to first say to those who have lost someone to this epidemic, someone close to them and their family, that's why we don these shirts, if you were confused. This is for families, our people in our community. Our people are dying. So it's no surprise that I'm a licensed clinical alcohol and drug counselor, and I've been doing work in the community and social services for over 16 years. And now I've entered, and just to be clear, I have entered as candidate for state representative for District 44 in Louisville, Kentucky. I would like to share that I am here because I wanted to ask and speak directly to the commission and ask some questions that I want you all to reflect on as you move forward. I smile at Mr. Chris Evans because we were able to join each other on the forum with the Courier Journal, and I appreciate everything that you had to say. I appreciate the work that you've done as a prior person working in the DEA. I appreciate how you came out to our grand opening. My colleagues from Vocal are here along with us from Kentucky Harm Reduction Coalition, our allies and supporters. I would also like to thank my fellow friends here from Georgetown Police Department. They have Operation Hope and Angel Program, the Community Recovery Support Team. So I want to say to you, I appreciate the fact that you showed up authentically, intentionally, and you're showing us that you want to build relationship. The reason why I'm here today, though, is because I'm a little concerned. And I also noticed that we're missing a colleague that was on your team at one point. Ms. Inyon Telfair. Attorney General Russell Coleman began his time as Attorney General and made some decisions, which we know everyone is going to make those decisions. But he made a decision under his line that actually I kind of like personnel is policy. And I was thinking about what that really means, because in our organization, personnel is policy. We have individuals that work with us that are all the way in retirement age. We have individuals that reflect our communities that we serve. So when I saw the commission over the last year, saw people from different age groups, different walks of life, from treatment and recovery, from all these different spaces, including Black, Indigenous, and people of color, I was absolutely happy and joyful and optimistic and hopeful as to what we can see. But when I saw that she was let go just 5 days before Christmas, I was concerned. And I was concerned because what I saw this commission do to address Black and brown individuals who have died in our community. And we saw the increased rate of death in our community. And I saw this entire, which I appreciate every one of you all staying with this team and rocking it out. I do, because you all did amazing work last year. Thank you. When I saw that happen, and then I saw what happened with Ms. Inyon Telfair, I became even more concerned. I'm wrapping it up. I was concerned because I said, if we're building inclusion and bridges of hope, why would personnel equals policy not be demonstrated in the very place where you are handling the business of this state? Everyone at the table should be represented. So I questioned, what happened? Why is she gone? I don't want anyone gone, but I wanted to know because I'm curious, because I want this table to represent and reflect the communities that we serve. I also wanted to acknowledge that there was information shared with me about a conversation that took place, and there was a document that was shared widely. So I hope that everyone in here got it, where Mr. Victor Maddox made a concerted effort to remove information that would strategically center Black and brown communities. And as I wrap up, because I get it, I'm taking too long. There was a meeting on the Commission on Race and Opportunity. There was a document that was shared because we asked the former chairman to come and share from the perspective of the commission, because he did so well when we did the town halls and share. So we asked him to come share, and then we were provided this, we being the community. I don't know, you all have access to it, but we were provided this, and in this document, it was stated that we should remove the statement that we came to recognize that the historical reality and outright abuse of Black intelligence by government agencies, which are supposed to serve and protect them. You can continue to read the rest of that if you received it or when you do receive it. But I'm sharing that with you, Mr. Evans, because I'm concerned at the state of where we are moving. Just last week, there was legislation that was entered that said we should required to remove diversity, equity, and inclusion from a requirement for state colleges and universities for Kentucky just last week. So I'm concerned. And my last thing to you is, please, I'm begging you all to take the same energy that you had last year by addressing the marginalized communities that have been harmed the most, because we're looking at reducing harm, ensuring that they continue to get the support that you all have done. That wasn't just one person, it was every last one of you that were on this commission. I commend you, I thank you, and I beg you to stay the course. Please stay the course, Jane. Please stay the course. Dan, Eric, thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
You have Dr. or Reverend Larry Blackford.
Good evening. Thank you all so much to Abatement. Reverend Larry Blackford attended many of these sessions with the state and community. Was invited. I was glad to go and share my experience losing a son, my wife lost opioids, addiction with fentanyl. And God said me go get him on Christmas Day. You know, I don't have time to tell you how all that happened, but that's very painful thing. Just a whole lot in it. But anyway, I got a background of working. I've worked prior to the federal medical prison for like 15 years. Was a chaplain of what kind of job in the sales. I got a background coach. I work with young kids in school, retired teachers, work with kids in school, and in our community today, young people are often call it an addiction. And my whole thing is, I'm not gonna be long, I'm gonna try to make it plain as I can. Been a minister, when I studied the Bible, I see it Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, all the gospel. Every time Christ saw somebody who was hurting, who was in need, the scripture said he was moved with compassion. He was moved with compassion. No matter what the situation was, he was first moved with compassion. So I'm asking you all, get all the politics, get about where the out of the game can hit, where the resources are, be moved with compassion when you think about making decisions to help people in our community who are suffering from addiction. We're not saying that too, because see, me working as a mental helping people in addiction and helping people in ministry is a bad thing to be in bondage. Bondage is hell. We know that those who are sinners, who are no longer sinners, who are trapped in that bondage of sinning, who've been set free. What is it like now to be set free from sin? That's a shouting thing. Make you run the streets. So when people are caught up in addiction, I don't have no doubt in my mind, they'd be willing to give an arm or a leg to be different from addiction. They'd rather live with one arm and one leg if they'd be set free from addiction. I'm telling you, bondage is tough. Bondage is a struggle for every morning to be in captivity, something they have no control of. They have to follow what the addiction leads them. They're not strong to overcome it. I know that Abatement can help something. Don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Be with compassion. Let God take care of the rest. You're helping somebody. You're helping somebody, but we're not helping anybody. Like the lady said, what we're doing now is not working. It's just a recycling. Don't be afraid to try something new. Trust God and try something new. It's working. It's not perfect. What's perfect? Nothing's perfect. But try something new. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Lori Cook.
Good afternoon. My name is Lori Cook, and I wrote down my comments, so I'm going to read right from them because it will help keep me a little less nervous and make sure I have the points I get to make. I'm before you as a Kentuckian who has lost at least one family member to opioid addiction, the mother of a child who suffers from substance abuse disorder, and a member of a support group of parents who had children with addiction. Until you walked, until you walk the shoes of those coping with the addiction of a loved one, it's not always easy to have an understanding of the helplessness and the hopelessness that families frequently feel. Until I experienced it myself, I was of mindset of so many out there grew up in the age of just saying that this is a simple matter. Just say no, but it's not simple. One of the greatest struggles is in the minds of our loved ones. Many of them began their journey because of challenges with mental health. When they began down the dark road where they were looking for relief, many perceived that relief was drugs, and it's only exacerbated problems with their brain. When I joined the support group of parents of addicted loved ones, which meets at my church in Louisville, I was surprised to hear how many relapses families had dealt with. I'm not talking about one or two, I'm talking double digits. It was unfathomable to me. I know in my own family, we had experienced the crippling expense of detox and rehab only to have COVID hit, and those mental health challenges became greater again, leading to relapse. People will tell you addicts can only be successful at recovery if they're committed, but that's not always enough. Despite the desire you have for a clean, healthy life, many simply cannot move forward because of imbalances from addiction or the mental health challenges that led to their addiction. I never heard of Ibogaine until recently, but after reading many articles, listening to hours of testimony before your commission, and considering the rate of relapse over traditional treatment without Ibogaine, I'm here to encourage you to move forward with Ibogaine trials. There is no silver bullet. Every case of addiction is different. It does seem that there is information already suggesting that Ibogaine can help alter neuroplasticity enough to give people a fighting chance at meaningful recovery. Without trials and ultimately FDA approval, thousands of Kentuckians and many more outside of Kentucky will continue to fight this battle on an uneven playing field. A life on Suboxone or methadone may benefit those same folks who got us into this situation, but it is not relief. For the parent who is Narcan their child or has gotten to the point of desperation knowing their child is wandering the streets homeless because of their addiction, any glimmer of hope is worth pursuing. Addiction is an illness, a very cruel and costly one that is tearing apart families. We need to get to the heart of it and find a way to help the addict begin to heal their brain. Yes, we need better access and availability of mental health treatment. We need to have better continuum of care for those seeking recovery. But even at that, relapse occurs in 40 to 60% of patients who go through a recovery program. It seems that Ibogaine has the potential to be one more tool for making a significant change in those numbers. Thank you for your time.
That's it. Jane Butcher.
Good afternoon. My name is Gene Butcher. I happen to be a PAL facilitator in Georgetown, Kentucky. I also happen to be a PAL facilitator in Louisville, Kentucky. So twice a week, I get to hear the stories of parents of addicted loved ones who are fighting this battle now, or they have fought this battle and they've lost somebody. On Memorial Day of 2020, my wife and I lost a son, Matthew, who had beaten this to the point where he was self-sufficient. He had a job. He seemed to be turning the corner. He was very proud. And then the lockdown came. Now, you take a person that has had an addiction problem and you put them in an area where they don't live with anybody else. They don't have a job to go to. They have plenty of time on their hands. What do you think you're going to get? You're going to get somebody that seeks what they found to be the most pleasing thing in their life. And that was drugs. And unfortunately, the cocaine or the heroin had too much fentanyl in it, and it killed them. Now, you all heard Larry Blackford, and many of you listened to my wife, Karen, at these commission meetings. So you know the passion that they have. I happen to be caught between them, except the fact when I found Larry, I got him to start a PAL meeting in Versailles, Kentucky. There is a disconnect, and we all know it, between the time when many of our loved ones get out of treatment and the time where they have to make it on their own. I hope this commission finds ways to spend money to help in that transition. They find ways to help companies that will administer and provide all kinds of services. I truly hope they do. We also have a son that lives in Philadelphia that was in Iraq and he got blown up. He was in a Humvee, and a landmine went off underneath him. Luckily, nobody in the Humvee died. But Brad came home to the point where PTSD is a way of life now for him. And since knowing a little bit about Abatement and researching it, it's not just opioids we can help people with. There are many other problems with the brain that Abatement can help put back to a position that they had prior to those injuries. So I ask you, take the politics out, take the money out, and start looking into your own heart and your own soul and say, what can I do to help? Not what can I do to help myself? Thank you.
Tracy Griffith?
I was sitting there thinking, on the subcommittee, I like Unleashed, so I'm not sure how much I've left. You know, I understand that there are people on the commission, and I have no idea about the new people that don't support Abatement. So I have a question. That don't support us continuing to try to get Abatement filed. My question for you is, how many of you have child in addiction? Those of you that are objecting to this, do you have a child in addiction? Do you lay awake at night because you can't sleep? Do you, the phone ring and your heart just pounds out of your chest? Do you drive through town and you see the sirens and your immediate thought is, oh my God, did that to my child? How many of you do that? Because I do every day. Every day. I have a child who has been in addiction thanks to pharmaceutical companies. So thank you for, giving us the money that might possibly give us some kind of solution. But he started out with a car wreck where he got painkillers that leads into everything. So we're at heroin and fentanyl and everything imaginable. But I asked myself, I can't imagine why anybody would oppose. Like, why? We got 900 million? How much is this? 900 million? And we can't set aside 42 million to save thousands and thousands and thousands of lives potentially.
Amen.
To completely change their life. What is the life? I don't understand. It makes me so angry. It makes me so angry that I have to come here and beg to say, I have a child. These people have family that are dying. It could be 1 second, like right now, I could get the call. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know, but time is ticking and people's lives are being lost. We have to do, I'm not saying it's going to be the one and only solution. Nobody here is saying that. But I'm going to tell you that you don't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and somehow think it's going to turn out better. It is not. My son's been on Suboxone and methadone and treatment centers, and all those are great. They didn't work. Give him a chance to live. Give these people who have tried all of that a chance to live. I hear this thing about, there's a risk to Ibogaine. You don't think every time he sticks that needle in his arm, there's not a risk? Every time he sticks that needle in his arm. That to be the time. So you think I care about a potential risk if it could actually, I have a 50-50 chance? Because I'm losing here. I'm losing. So please, those of you that are new, those of you that have been here, go back and re-listen to all of your meetings last year
Make sure that you make the commitment. Make sure that you are getting educated. You're not just going because somebody told you so. I want you to put yourself in my shoes. And I want you to lay awake at night and every time that phone rings, that you start to shake. You can't breathe. You have anxiety. Think about the people out here that are going through that. And how you guys hold in your hand the opportunity to at least give them some hope. Thank you.
I believe it's Tony from Local K Rock.
Good afternoon. So I've been thinking all about it since she just spoke and he was in the other room. So I'm gonna give a rundown real quick. So drug addiction, homeless, full-time convicted felon, treatment didn't happen, didn't work. Then it really never worked. Okay, so I'm not gonna say that I oppose Abigail now because she's fine. I mean, y'all have no idea. I was a track star. Okay, and nowadays, yeah, it didn't take after me. You know, I have a 13-month-old daughter. I had my feet planted now. My partner got clean because, well, she never was dirty, but you know, she got sober because when she found out she was pregnant, and you know what I'm saying, put somebody up her step. You know, when I was homeless, living underneath the bridge, the only time I even took a shower is when I went to jail and I went to rehab. I didn't go to rehab very much because it wasn't working. I went to jail, quite a few times. But what I see that we need to also continue to try to work. Y'all have the ability to do this. Is I just went to Shelby County Detention Center. And I've been to Local Metro, I've been to Bull County, I've been all over the state. And what I see is, even though when we do come in with our drug addiction, that we are not helping people start the treatment process right there. Okay? We need to also be looking at these halfway houses. We need to be looking at the people who care. My brother just called me the other day and he was like, fuck this. This is what he said. He said, the healing place said, if I don't have a job, then I have to get out. And when I said, well, they won't work with you. No, after my insurance ended, it's time for me to go. So, and they said, so he had a pocket full of money to go get him all the dope he wanted to. He's going to say to me, he said, well, they said I failed for Suboxone. He couldn't have got dope. I got Suboxone at home if you need one, just to be honest. But for them to sit there and say, hey, you're going to go to detox for 3 more days. And then we're going to put you right back in this whole system again. Well, that's just showing me that these treatment facilities is only caring about one day. It is not the well-being of a person. It is the well-being of them continuing to have that insurance money put in their pocket. All right. So if you guys can sit here and let's hold these people who keep on trying to get this money. If you don't have a success rate, okay, I am for obligating if that's what you guys want to run. But what we have in hand right now is why don't we make for sure that instead of you keep wanting this money with your treatment facilities, let's have a better turnover that they don't have a turnover. Let's not keep having a repeat cycle. Let's find this that works. And if you want money from you guys, from this opioid money that, you know, the PO line that I was a part of, that you put in an effort that you don't see a dollar sign when a person comes in. You see one of these people's daughters and sons that are coming in. And that's all I got to say.
Next is Dory.
Thank you for that.
Dory,
Reading that.
yes. You know, okay. All right. Well, but that completes the list of those who signed up for public comments. I want to make sure that thank everybody who was coming and attended with us today and for the powerful words that you all spoke today. It's appreciated that you take the time to do that. So thank you very much for doing that to all of you. We appreciate that. With that, that concludes the business for today's meeting. With that, I will seek if there's any motions for it. We'll ask if there's any other business meeting, any other business before the commission that I'm aware of.
I ask a question.
Well, about this portion of it, or
Which portion are you on?
right now we're at the adjournment portion, so I'm just trying to make sure there's no other business that hasn't been.
Will this, would question be business?
What's that?
Would question be considered business?
It depends on.
I'll ask you later, Mr. Evans.
There you go. We'll work through that. So with that, I will see if we can get a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.